The temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. Within the most holy place, inside the ark of the covenant in the sanctuary in heaven, is God's holy law. If we want to be ready for the judgment, we need to keep the law of God. The Apostle Paul plainly declares, "The doers of the law shall be justified." In the heart of the 10 Commandments is the 4th commandment, exactly as it was first given. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, you nor your son nor your daughter, your manservant nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. This is why the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Our duty to worship God is based on the fact that He is the Creator. The first angel of Revelation 14 calls upon us to worship the Creator. Worship Him that made heaven and earth, and the sea and the fountains of waters. It is the 4th commandment that identifies God as the Creator. As a result of this 3-part message of Revelation 14, a group of people are produced who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. But the 3rd angel of Revelation 14 points to another group of people who make a terrible mistake. The angel warns us so we will not commit this horrible sin. If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. If we will avoid receiving the mark of the beast, we must know what the beast is, and what is its mark. The 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon earth. In Bible prophecy, a beast represents an earthly kingdom or power, so the mark of the beast is a mark or a sign of an earthly kingdom or power. In Revelation 12, the dragon that tried to kill Christ at his birth was Satan. Satan worked through the pagan Roman Empire to war against Christ and his people in the 1st centuries, so this dragon also represents the pagan Roman Empire. In Revelation 13 is described the beast or earthly power which has a deadly mark that we must avoid. Who is this power? The Apostle John wrote that the dragon or pagan Rome gave him his power and his seat and great authority. This power has opened his mouth in blasphemy against God. This power is known to make war with the saints. This prophecy clearly points to the Roman Church power. History reveals that Rome has put millions of God's people to death. She has blasphemed against God by claiming to be able to forgive sins, which God alone can do. And the Pope has taken titles that belong only to God. It is also clear from history that the Roman Church received her authority from the dragon or pagan Rome, just as the prophecy foretold. When pagan Rome changed her official religion to Christianity, she gave her authority to the Roman Church. Power was given unto him to continue 42 months. There are 30 days in a Jewish month, so 42 prophetic months equal 1260 years. This is exactly the period of time that the Roman Church had political and religious power to persecute God's people during the Dark Ages. I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. In 1798, the Pope was taken as a prisoner by the French army. The Roman Church power received a deadly wound. At that time, Rome's 1260 years of tyrannical rule came to an end. He that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Rome killed millions of God's people through the civil power, so Rome herself received a deadly wound through the civil power. Revelation 13 describes a second earthly power that appears. At the end of time, this second beast will force the world to receive the mark of the first beast, Rome. Who is this second earthly power? At the same time as Rome was losing her power, the prophet John beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. The first beast of Revelation 13, Rome, rose up out of the sea. The waters which you saw where the whore sits are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. The sea represents a populated area. Indeed, Rome rose from populated Europe, which had a lot of people. But the second beast of Revelation 13 came up out of the earth, an unpopulated area. Only one nation fits this description: the United States of America. The United States was rising up in 1798 as Rome was losing her power. North America was a largely unpopulated area, represented in prophecy as the earth rather than the sea. And he had two horns like a lamb. The lamb-like horns represent youth, innocence, and gentleness. The United States is a very young nation, which grew up peacefully in a new land. The United States of America is built upon the firm foundation of civil and religious liberty. The U.S. was to have no oppressive government and no religious persecution. These principles are the secret of the power and prosperity of the United States of America. Millions who have suffered from tyranny and religious persecution have found hope and freedom in the United States. But the prophecy declares that this beast with lamb-like horns spoke as a dragon. A nation speaks by the laws it passes, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him. This prophecy predicts a time when the United States will demonstrate religious intolerance and persecution, just like the first beast of Revelation 13, the Roman Church power. The time is coming when the United States shall pass a law which rejects her Constitution and violates her precious principles of civil and religious liberty. A law which causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. The United States will pass a law causing the world to honor the first beast, the Roman Church system. When the early church joined with the world and became corrupted, she lost the spirit and power of God. So the church used the power of the state to control the consciences of the people. This is how the Roman Church system was formed. A church that controls the power of the state to get what she wants. A church that uses earthly powers to punish people if they have different religious views. Unfaithfulness to God among church members is what will cause church and state to unite and force false religion upon the people. The different churches are laying aside their important differences and joining together for this evil common cause. When the leading churches of the United States join together to influence the government to enforce their religious laws and give support to their religious institutions, then Protestant America will have copied the Roman system, and those who do not comply will be punished by the civil power. The beast with two horns, the United States, causes or commands all to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell unless they have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. The issue will become so serious that a law will be passed to cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. But the third angel of Revelation 14 gives us this warning: if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. This beast is the Roman Church system. The copy or image to the beast represents fallen Protestant churches when they copy Rome's example of seeking help from the civil power to enforce their teachings. After the third angel of Revelation 14 gives the warning not to worship the beast or his image, verse 12 declares, "Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus." Those who worship God keep the commandments of God. Those who worship the beast break the commandments of God. So the special characteristic of the beast and its image is that they break God's commandments. The first beast of Revelation 13 and the little horn power of Daniel 7 both represent the Roman Church power. Daniel said of the little horn power, the Roman Church power, that he shall think to change the times and the law. The Apostle Paul refers to the same power as the man of sin, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, showing himself that he is God. Only by changing God's law could the Roman Church system elevate itself above God. Whoever understandingly honors a counterfeit law honors the power that changed the law. So whoever obeys the law of the Roman Church system instead of God's law is demonstrating a mark of allegiance to the Pope in the place of God. The Roman Church system has indeed tried to change God's law, just as the prophet Daniel foretold long ago. Rome has tried to change the fourth commandment by teaching the people to observe Sunday, the first day of the week, as the Sabbath, instead of Saturday, the seventh day of the week, the Bible Sabbath. The first angel of Revelation 14 tells us to worship him that made heaven and earth, and the sea and the fountains of waters. Those who worship the Creator God will keep the fourth commandment, because the seventh-day Sabbath is the special sign of God's creative power. But those who worship the beast will try to do away with the Creator's memorial and set up the mark of Rome's authority in its place. When Rome first sought secular support, she used the power of the state to force the people to observe Sunday as the Lord's Day. But the Bible points to the seventh day as the Lord's Day, not to the first day. Even many Protestants admit that the Bible does not teach that the Sabbath has been changed from Saturday to Sunday. Roman Catholics acknowledge that their church changed the Sabbath. They declare that when Protestants observe the Sunday, they are recognizing the power of the Roman Church. The change of the Sabbath from Saturday to the Sunday is the sign or mark of the Roman Catholic Church's authority. The mark of the beast. The seventh-day Sabbath is based on the Word of God. The Sunday Sabbath is based on the authority of man. Protestants who reject the Bible Sabbath and accept the Sunday will find themselves once again on the side of Rome. When Protestant churches try to force religious duty on the people through the secular power, they are forming an image to the beast. They are repeating the history of Rome's religious coercion from the Dark Ages. So a law forcing Sunday keeping in the United States would be to force the people to worship the beast, the Roman Church power. But there are now true Christians in every church, including the Roman Catholic Church. They honestly believe that Sunday is the day that God established as the Sabbath. These people of God have not yet received the mark of the beast. But when Sunday observance is enforced by law, and the duty to keep the true Sabbath is made plain before the world, then those who continue to reject the commandments of God to keep the commandments of men will receive the mark of the beast. All the world will be given an opportunity to understand this important issue and to escape the wrath of God, which will fall upon those who break His commandments. The whole Christian world will be divided into two groups: they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus, and they that worship the beast and his image and receive his mark.